Hey guys, so today we'll be talking about blinks and how you can build a blink. So this tutorial is just about blinks, so it's a beginner's guide. So let's start with what is a blink. So blink is simply a blockchain link. So what I mean here is, instead of a normal link, so blinks are different by a means that if you click on if you see a link, it will just render some image and it will tell some metadata about what that link is. So blink is a bit different. So this blink allows you to interact with the blockchain. That is why it is called B blockchain plus link. So it is blink. So we'll be learning more about how it works and how we are going to build this one. So here is a small example of how blinks look like. So if it was not a normal link, so you might have just seen this image and just a text below this. So since this is a blink here, so this is a blink of uh, drift on, and so these are some blinks. So you can go to dial.to, which maintains a repository of blinks, and it is also a tool which is used for testing the blinks. So now you got to know what's the difference between link and a blink. So blinks differ by having a functionality added to the link, not just rendering the UI and not just an image for that link which is stored in the metadata. So how do clients process the blink? That is a bit different here. So here the in a normal link, the client process all this data. So these are meta tags, as you know. So it has a OG image, OG title, so which will be shown. So when a client hits, when in the uh, for this tutorial, so like I've taken earn.superteam.fun, I've inspected and put this meta tags here. So basically, earn.superteam.fun. If you go to some any uh, social media platform, so you can see the image which is in this content. So this is the image which will be rendered. So this is a link. So now what does a blink differ from? So it even blink is also a set, comes with a set of metadata, but it will be some enriched set. So here the difference between link and a blink here is, so the link just fetches the metadata and shows it on the UI of that client. For example, if you take twitter.com, if you paste a link, it will it will scan all the head tag which contains all the meta tags. So it will display the OG image title and all those things on that platform. But when it comes to blink, what it does is, so let's say for example, this is a blink. So when I go to blink to chat.fun slash some group ID slash some parameters. So the blink fetches the metadata not from that head tag. It will fetch the metadata from the actions. What do you call actions API? So when you go to slash API slash actions, and if you hit this link, what the metadata you get, that thing will be rendered on the client. So this is where it differs, and we will be configuring all these actions by that actions.json. So the actions.json is defined by the developers. So when blink to chat.fun is hit on the client, it will fetches the actions.json. So it will look for that API path. So here our API path is slash API slash actions. Then it will append that API slash actions to this, and it will render what the contents which it got from that API. So that is how we differ the blink. So it is very simple. So let's directly get started by building a blink. So yeah, a simple Next.js project. So this is a simple Next.js project, and I've added the dependencies, Solana Web3.js and all those things. So this is my setup using TypeScript, ESLint, no, Tailwind CSS. So I'm using the SRC directory, and it is in Next.js version 13, which is app router. And like you can just copy this command and you can just paste it here. It will install all the dependencies which I have done already. So it's showing here. So and so let's start by building a Blink. So when you go to the app folder, this is what is shown to the user. The page.tsx is the content which is shown to the user on your localhost 3000 on so when it gets deployed to some link. So but links act different. So we should create an API folder. So I'll create an API folder, and we should have a in the app folder itself, we should have the actions.json for route. So I'll be creating a folder and then route.ts for that. So this actions.json so it will be accessible by localhost 3000 slash actions.json. So as we discussed, so when a Blink URL is hit, so it will go to actions.json first. So it will check the API and API path. So here our API path is API slash actions, and then it will append. So you can scaffold this code. So this is a sample. I mean the simple API action code. So you can just copy from here. So this is also in the GitHub repo which I mentioned. So you can just copy and paste it here. So since I've installed Solana Action, so you can just so this actions JSON, if you just go to this, you'll get all the path pattern and API path. You'll get all the description here. So you just have to export a payload. So this route as a GET request when it's called on the client, so it should return these rules. These rules are the API paths which are accessed by this client. So let's say x.com goes to your access.json. So it will look for this path. So the path is API slash actions. So then it will go to API slash actions, and then it will append this URLs. So that's how you can use these actions. So you can get a more detailed description of of these things on my blog. So I've hosted and I've also put it in the description. So now let's get started, and we'll actually code Blink. So what we'll be doing here is, so we'll code Blink that will accept a user's Telegram ID, and then ask for some amount of SOL. So if they do the transaction, they get an invite link. So we can get the Telegram channel or Telegram group by a wallet address. So which can be accessed through the Blink. So the user just have to enter their Telegram username, and if they click on enter the chat, so they can enter they get the invite link to enter the chat. So it is kind of gated with the wallet address. So this is just hosted on Blink, blink2chat.fun. You can just go to blink2chat.fun and you can get the API URL here. So I think, yeah. So this is the sample group ID, and these things I'll be discussing. So this is how the Blink will actually work. I will put my username and amount of SOL, enter the chat. So it will ask for a transaction. So when the transaction is processed, so it will actually return me the Telegram invite link. So this is what we're going to build now. So the setup is simple. The actions.json is clear. So now this actions.json maps to this app API slash action. So we have to create API and then actions folder, and then in this action. So if you clearly look at our Blink URL, so it's API slash actions slash ID slash wallet address. So this is our path. So our API should look like this. So since you know from Next.js, so this will be automatically fetch from, you can also fetch from the param variable. So I will put what SPLI. So this is my, yeah, I think it created a folder, new file here, and yeah, okay. Route.ts. So it actually created a folder here. Yeah. So now, yeah. So now in our API slash actions, and this is the params as we know in the route.ts file. Let's start exposing the endpoint. So like export const get is equal to async. Yeah, perfect. So we just and here we need all the params. So let's quickly get it from this. As you know, I've shared this block, so we can just start by getting this. So for this demo, I just get this from the blog, and so this is the get request which will be called. So this scaffold is set. So now what you have to return is very important. So you can't return the response.json. So you just have to return this thing with the payload. So here we need to construct the payload, and this action cause header must be set. So these are, you can import this from the Solana actions um, the library, and this payload should be constructed. So this payload should be constructed in a way such that so let me show you. So this payload should be constructed in a way so that it has all these parameters, like, so for this, so let's simply start like this. So this is the action get response. So this type, you can just use it as a starting point. So you can just use the icon, or else you can uh, you can get it from the official documentation. So you can have an icon, you can have a title, description, label, links, and all those things. So here, when you go to this link, so this link is showing an image and has a URL, a title, and this is a description and all those things. So this is set from this action get response. So this variable sets all those things. So since we have all those things right now, so I will just copy it till here. So this is the title, this is the icon. The icon is from this public URL. So I will just add this to the public URL later. And so yeah, and we need the bot instance also. So we are showing the group's name here. So we have to add the bot library as well, and we have to start getting the chat ID from the bot. So from the chat ID, so anyhow we are getting it in the route. So from that chat ID we have to get the title. So that is what the chat title, it's the error showing here. So we'll do that, and so this is the description and this is the label, and all those things are set. Now we just have to have the main part. So this is the links, and I will copy it from here, and yeah. So this is very important. So this is the Solana action which will be triggered for that link. So this get request exports these metadata, so it will include a link, links object key. So it will it exports an array of actions. So the label is enter the chat, the href is this something. So I'll explain this, and this is the parameters. So we have two input fields here, param and its name. We can get the input details from this name only. So we are actually this href represents a post request by default, and so it is pointing to some URL, right? So this base URL we'll be constructing now, and so we'll eliminate that. So route chat ID, and so if you observe this href, so we might be constructing the post request very next to this here. So we might be exporting post request. So that's the there, and yeah. So now let's construct the base href as I told here. So yeah, this is the base href. So we will have the request. We'll declare it here. Const request URL is the new URL of, and we'll get this from the request which is coming here. So we will get it as an object, and then we can restructure this request URL. That's why it's used. So if you clearly see, this base href is set to /API/actions. So this get request is again redirected to /API/actions/route chat ID slash this param of SPL address. So this is that API route. So we are on the same route, but we don't have a post request. So now we have to construct that as well. And now I'll tell you how to get this route chat ID. This is very simple. So we can declare a variable, and we can get it from the route itself. So which is coming from the params. So which is this one, and everything is set. So we just have to enable the bot. So I will add the Grammy bot. So I've given this description here as well. So you have to set up the bot, and you have to just install it by yarn Grammy, and you can get the things. So let me check what, yeah, it's installed. So now I'll declare the bot variable. Bot is equal to new Telegram bot, which will be uh, from the Grammy bot.api. Okay, yeah, this is it. So now you have to pass some string. So yeah, so you can instantiate your bot by installing Grammy, and this is the bot thing. So you have the bot instance by the bot variable. So now we need the chat title, right? So let's get the chat title from the bot itself. So chat, yeah, this is a we don't need these things. So let's first get the chat. So bot dot apis dot get chat, I guess, yeah. So and from this chat ID we'll get the chat details probably, and from this chat details we can construct the chat title. So yeah, chat detail. So we can add an await here. So yeah, so now we have got almost all the data which we have defined here. So only thing is SPL address, and since even that is coming from the route, so I will just declare a variable here. Yeah. Now let's since it's locally, I'll just run it. it's working fine, I guess. It's taking a lot of time. Yeah, it's rendered. So now let's go to this URL and change it to ours. And it's instead of localhost 3000. Yeah, and it will be HTTP actions. Yeah, probably we will get it. Uh, there is some, I think there is some issue here. So let me check. So it's localhost 3000 API. Okay, there is some error here. Okay, it's we didn't give the ENV token, so you have to configure the Telegram bot token as well. So just create an .env file, .env, and add your Telegram bot token here, which is obtained from bot father. So get get it from bot father. So and on Telegram, and you have the link, so you can get it. So you just have to put your token. So yeah. I will fetch this BTC large GIF which I've declared here. So since I've had this URL, so I'll just add it to the public folder. So now this will be, now the Blink should actually render it. So let's check the dial.2. Yeah, so I will refresh it. So when you check this URL, it will be dial.2/devnet action is equal to Solana action and then your URL. So okay, yeah. So this is our API URL. So this is HTTP localhost 3000 API/actions API. You can feel free to use this blog for getting started. So I will just replace what all things have to be returned. So um, this is the there'll be a try. I'll remove this catch for now. So we'll be returning a payload and the action calls are returned as earlier. So but here the payload will be different. So we need to construct this payload, and now this payload should be corresponding to the post response. So this you can get it here before creating. Yeah. So I will I will go in the yeah. So I will just go in this flow. So you need to return a JSON response of payload, which has the headers of all these things set from the Solana Actions library. So for this payload, you need to have a response, even that is important from Solana Actions. So it also provides a function for creating a it should trigger a transaction. So now this thing is set, so we just have to set the transaction and invite link. So basically, so how the transaction should be constructed, um, get everything from here. So you just have to uh, start a connection. You can you can use this code. So you just have to create a new transaction which has to be from the connection above. So you just have to create a connection which is from the connection variables. Just start from here. So just click this is done. So the recent block hash. So, so we have to get all these things from the Solana Web3 library. We are instantiating a new connection, which is custom. You can also set the custom Solana RPC, so you can set it in the dot and you can, or else you can just create a custom API URL, and then according to the environment, you just change that. So for this demo, like let's keep it right, and the connection variable is done. Now you have to create a transaction, which will be also from the Solana Web3 library, and then you have to create. So yeah, this is the main part. So if you check the Solana library, the post request, so it will send a account in the body. So it will send the wallet address that is clicking on the action, and the action is pointing to this post request. So you will get it from the body of this post request system. So you can use that, and you can do anything. So you can um, for your Blink logic. So I'm just using this account to do the transaction. So you will get to know here. So there are some variables that I've set. So you just can ignore this. So uh, keep updating the code now. So these are just the basic scaffolds of how you can create a transaction using Solana Web3.js. So if you're new to this, you can just definitely check out, or you can use this from my GitHub repo, or you can follow this blog. So all these things you just have to import it from the actions library. That's it. So here we are missing of SQL address. So since this is being passed a post request, so we will just declare that as well. This SQL address will copy. So this thing is done, and this amount input. I think we we also have to customize that. So we are getting it from the we are getting it from the user. So yeah, and so this is the things which are getting it. We are getting it from the parameter. So we can also declare these two things. So we need to have the request URL set up, and this is the yeah. So and we have to include the lamppost password from someone Web3.js. Okay, yeah, and this should be yeah. These are type errors. So you just have to create the total amount per variable per user, and this is just a basic transaction. So what happens here is you just create a transaction, add it to the blockchain. So that is the thing here. So and we have the custom logic for getting generating an invite link. So I'll be adding the helper functions here in the folders. So yeah, and also like this will be just a normal post request from Axios, and we will just be passing that here. So this is the logic to create an invite link. So all these things are done in one of the helper APIs which I'll be creating. So for this demo, let's only just concentrate on the uh, flow part of what the blinks will do. So this post request returns the invite link, and this invite link will be sent to the user. So I'll be just skipping that part of creating the helper functions, and then we can move on. Yeah. So in this, we have the base URL set, and we can get this validate logic as well. So this validate logic just validates if the user, if the group ID and the wallet address is correctly synced, and it is done by a user itself on the channel. So for this, like we have created a Telegram bot and we have I implemented this flow there. So I'll also put the link to that in the description, so you can just go to that GitHub repo and you can just follow that GitHub bot and you can use that bot as well. So before the transaction, so we will validate this. So we have this uh, route chat missing. So I'll just declare it from the one which I'm getting in the route. So we will validate. So this is the URL. So we'll be having we'll be creating actions helpers, and I will be adding this validate params and save to DB functions there. So this is it. So this is the post request and this is the get request. So get request is accessed by the actions.json. So it is mapped from the actions.json to the client. So it will display the UI something like this. I'll just reload. Yeah, it's working. So the get request is working. You just have to type your Telegram username and click on the amount and enter the chat. So it will pop a transaction. Let's do that. So test this link now. ಬರ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರು. So let's test this link. So I'll just type so I've just set up the helper functions as I told. So this is just saving it to the database or validating it. So those logics can be, and I'll click on enter the chat. And yeah, the pop-up is open. So make sure the uh, uh, Phantom wallet is enabled for testnet transactions, and since this is indefinite, so I'll just confirm the transaction. It's executing, it's completed. So this was it, guys. So when I go to t.me slash, yeah, I will get a invite link to join this link, so I can join this. If you have any doubts, you can just put it down in the comments, or you can just fork it out and you can just customize it in your way. I've made it completely open source. And yeah, if you like it, so you can just use this link. I'll be sharing it in a few days. So I'll be making it public on my Twitter as well. So you can just follow me there. So this is it. So if you know how to write this route.ts file, what is there here, so you just have created a link. That's it. Thank you so much. Hoping it the ecosystem. Thank you. Yeah, hoping it likes. So hope it's good, and I think follow along with this. So you can also follow this blog for more details. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you. See you.